Hello all, Alison here. Welcome back to Words and Pictures and another episode of Books, Books, Books. But it is a slightly different episode today because although I have got some book art on the table, they're not books so much as they are pieces of books. These two panels are created on some hardback book covers. The book was falling apart. Oh, look, there's even an inscription here, 1966. Darling Deborah, wishes for a happy Christmas and New Year from your auntie. Is that what it says? Your auntie Ida, maybe, 1966. Anyway, this was a book which you can see the spine just kind of crumbled. You can see the torn edges of that. And I thought, well, I'm not getting rid of those beautiful grey-green bookends. I'm going to create a couple of panels on those, a little bit of dimensional collaging. These were obviously springtime makes, you can tell, can't you? Those sort of slightly grey skies still, but the little nests, these were pre-bought as they are in a sort of little pound shop type place. I think there were 6 nests in the packet maybe, but I've used a little bit of speckled egg distress paint to make them the colour I wanted them rather than that. And then, yeah, they're glued onto the book cover over a couple of real twigs. So one of the things I love doing when I'm doing dimensional collaging, especially in springtime, is to use real twigs and then give them some stamped blossoms. So this is one of my PaperArtsy stamps, the Blackthorn Edition, but all blossom looks pretty similar. So you can make it into apple blossom or pear blossom or cherry blossom and get away with it, really. I don't know how much yellow blossom there is, but I clearly wanted some golden yellow tones for these. I've watercoloured those, I think probably with distress inks. That looks to me as though it might be scattered straw and wild honey, perhaps. And yeah, one of the large size Tim Holtz Snapshots, the large size photo booth, Photomatic, I think it called itself, and a little metal frame around her. And there's one of these lovely word sticks here, make this journey your own. Lots of Tim Holtz labels in the background, the tiny Curator labels, a little bird from one of the nature botanical sheets, and various larger bits of ephemera there in the background. But I love the sort of the unfinished feel of this. That twine that is binding that on is just stuck down with some wide washi on the back. And yeah, I like the sort of raw, unfinished look of that and the raw, unfinished look of the book cover, although I think I did do a bit of probably vintage photo inking around the edges to get that dark framing, or I might have done it with coffee archival, because if something's going out on display, it's quite a good idea to have an archival ink in the places that people might pick it up and touch it, because otherwise distress inks might just come off on their fingers. So that's panel number 1 with the blossom. And then panel number 2, similarly, I think there's probably again speckled egg on there and maybe a little bit of evergreen bough to get slightly different coloured eggs on the second one, a little bluer. These are my rosemary sprigs from the Rosemary Edition. Again, links for these stamp sets will be down below, and I'll link some of the Tim Holtz Idea-ology stuff as well. This tag that is layered in here is stamped with, I don't know, is that a Tim Holtz background? Oh, it might be paper. It might be cut from some design paper, I think, rather than stamped, that tag. I think I'd done something else with the rest of the paper and it needed using up, so I just cut a little tag, layered in with ephemera here. And I just love this picture. That comes from the Snapshots ephemera set. I think it's called Snapshots. It's just a bunch of snapshots. And she's just lovely sitting there all lost and waiting on the fence post. Little stamp in. And again, the real twigs to give us dimension and for the nest to sit on the tree of those little twigs. And another of the word sticks, life is meant for adventure. I hope she's ready for adventure. So yeah, again, completely raw on the back with that twine just stuck down with some texty torn washi tape. and that's natural aging on the back. But again, as I say, I think I've done a little bit of additional brown inking on the edges of those. So 2 complementary panels, which just seemed right given they came from the same book originally. Do we like them better that way round or that way round? So that's always my question when I'm photographing things. Do I photograph them in this position or this position? Do I photograph them in this position, in this position? What's the one that gets me the best look? I think with these two, probably it's something like that is the best way to look at them. But yeah, let them go side by side. So I might do a quick little zoom in, fly around with a little bit of music just to finish off this video. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing this bit of book art, so using parts of books as well as whole books, as well as making your handmade books. Anything that involves real books in the process, I think, is fair game for an episode of Books. If you've enjoyed that, do leave a thumbs up. I look forward to hearing any comments. If you've got questions, do leave those down below as well. As I say, I'll try to link as much as possible in the description so that you can find things if you're after them, especially those PaperArtsy stamp sets of mine. And I hope you'll be inspired to have a play with some books quite soon. Happy crafting all.